inexhaustible gray. Unmask the shadows where they play. Welcome to Suki Things with Debbie. Suki Things with Debbie.
Hi, everybody. It's Debbie, and this is Spooky Things. Sorry I have been not around for a little. We had a lot of things going on. We had the Deep South Fair Comic Con, and I just really hadn't really said a whole lot about it, but I got hurt at work. For me, I know, but I'm fine. So anyway, it's an orthopedic kind of a thing. And so I've been kind of out of it. And there was a couple of times that it was like just too much. So now that sad story is over, everything's fine. But we're getting back on track here. The con went really good. Kudos to Stan and Teresa Fikes. Once again, did an amazing job. And it was absolutely fabulous, fantastic. So that being said, on to next year, right? Got some cool things in mind for next year too. So now tonight we're going to also do something. I've been kind of changing a bit of what I'm doing a little bit, but still going back to the original stuff too. Today is going to be another subject that is nothing but true. Everything I'm going to give to you ain't nothing but the truth. And if they want to complain and gripe and whatever about it, well, you shouldn't have done it. But anyway, this is it. This is the story. And a lot of people are like confused about this because there's a lot of information out about Project MK Ultra. It was a nasty event, a long event, but it goes into a lot of other areas as well. We're just going to be, again, scratching the surface. So what I'm going to give you are the true facts of what went on in this particular situation. People that were involved in it, people that were victims of it, people that in the CIA that was part of what occurred at this time. And may I just say, shame on you. Shame on each and every one of you out there that was involved in this, to these people. That's a bunch of crap what they pulled. But here we go, okay? MK Ultra. So the strange thing about MK Ultra is that everything on here is verified. It's considered, it's historical. And it's a lot stranger and spookier than a lot of things out there that are actually strange and spooky. And I think the reason why is because it's all true. So you're going to see me looking down a lot. That's because I have my notes right here. I go nowhere without my notes. So let's go ahead and get started in on this. So we're going to start with the Cold War. And so what we're going to be discussing here isn't anything new. It isn't a conspiracy theory. It's nothing like that. This is all fully documented. It was an illegal CIA program running from 1953 all the way through to 1973. So these, the CIA was pulling this stunt for 20 years. 20 years they were pulling this. So they can't say, oh, we didn't know. 20 years? No, well, you knew. You knew exactly what you were doing. And screwed a lot of people's lives in the process of it. And there you go. What I think what was really one of the driving forces was the paranoia after the Korean War. Now, my dad had a position in the Korean War. He was in the Air Force, and he got hurt. Um, and when he came back, a lot of horror stories, the ones which he could tell us. There's others that went on that you know he couldn't say anything about. Um, but American POWs were returned home making pro-communist statements, sparking fears that the Soviets, the Chinese, and North Koreans had developed brainwashing or mind control techniques. So, the CIA, in all their brilliance, decided that they were going to approve this MK Ultra. And this was headed by Sidney Gottlieb. And they were going to find this truth serum to spit out the truth of what was going on. They were going to force confessions, wipe out memories, and basically create an unwitting agents or psychological assets. They're experimenting on their own people. They talk crap about other countries doing it, but they were doing it right here to our veterans. Nice, huh? I'm telling you, this story really disturbs me. It really does, because they did this against the people who put their asses on the line for this country, amongst other people as well. But it's not bad enough. And I'm a real strong person with this kind of an opinion because my dad suffered through this. So we know pretty much up front, about what it could do to somebody. And wow, this is just, let's go into the experiments and the methodology of it. So there's like 150 sub-projects at 50 plus institutions, universities, hospitals, prisons. So one of their main things is that they use psychoactive substances. The CI-run safe houses in San Francisco and New York, where sex workers were hired to lure men into rooms, spike their drinks with LSD, and observe them behind two-way mirrors. Wow. Dr. Ewan Cameron and psychotic driving, and psychic driving, should be psychotic, it's psychic driving. In Montreal, at the Allen Memorial Institute, patients seeking help for anxiety or postpartum depression were placed in drug-induced comas for weeks, subjected to electroshock therapy at 75 times standard levels, and forced to listen looped tape recordings tens of thousands of times to erase and reprogram their minds. This is at the Allen Memorial Institute in Montreal. So Canada was a part of this as well. They're in it up to their knees, just with everybody else. And then they did extreme isolation, extended sensory deprivation, sleep deprivation, and paralytic drugs. Let that sink in. I mean, now there's not just our veterans, military personnel. It wasn't just them. They actually were using college kids at the time as well. Really, just about anybody wanted to take part. If you wanted to take part of it, they'd be like, oh, heck yeah, come on, you be part of this. But there were some pretty well-known names involved in this. Ken Kesey. Now, Ken Kesey, and I'm sure you've all watched this movie. This is the author of the book One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He volunteered for CIA-funded LSD trials at Stanford. Stanford, which inspired his acid tests and the Merry Pranksters movement. Here's a name for you. Ted Kaczynski. Remember Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber? As a 16-year-old at Harvard. God, Harvard. He was subjected to a brutal 3-year psychological experimentation study run by Dr. Henry Murray, and that was funded by the MK Ultra network. Ted, because we all know how well that turned out for him, don't we? Yeah. Robert Hunter. You don't know Robert Hunter. Most of you older folks out there, I know you know who Robert Hunter is. He was the Grateful Dead lyricist. He volunteered for the Stanford LSD studies alongside Kessie. So they were both in there together. Here's a name for you. You're not even going to simulate it with the others, but he was very much involved in it. Whitey Bulger. He was the notorious Boston mobster who was dosed with LSD repeatedly while serving time in Atlanta Federal Penitentiary. I'm telling you, I'm not making this up. This is all true. So here's what the cover-up. There's like a big cover-up, and how. Let's see how this all transpired. It's called the Shredder. In 1973, facing post-Watergate scrutiny, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered all MK Ultra records destroyed. Roughly 20,000 financial documents survived in a misfiled cache. They just didn't get them all. The exposure was that the Church Committee of 1975 and the Rockefeller Commission exposed the program to the public, leading to Senate hearings led by Ted Kennedy. What the end all was is that was after 2 decades of torture and millions of dollars spent, Gottlieb and the CIA admitted that human mind control through these methods was unpredictable, ineffective, and unachievable. Well, they are brilliant. I mean, I could have told you that. I could have saved a whole lot of millions of bucks by telling you that. Anyway, don't get me started. Do not condone my bad behavior on this, because this really just ticks me off. Really and truly. Both of these stories add credible narrative tension to a segment. One provides the Black Ops evolutionary ladder, and the other is a classic true crime mystery with top-level CIA involvement. So there are so many of these different projects offshot from this. So we can do, okay, so first of all, we'll just do like one segment. It's the prequels. This is the Project Bluebird and Artichoke. How do you come up with these things? Before MK Ultra, the CIA's search for mind control went through 2 vital evolutionary stages. These show how quickly the program escalated from defensive interrogation to offensive mind manipulation. So, this is the way it ran. From 1950 to 1951, it was Project Bluebird. And then from 1951 to 1953 was Project Artichoke. So let's go back to Bluebird. formed directly in response to the North Korean and Soviet brainwashing panics. The goal was to be defensive in nature. The CIA wanted to know, can an agent be forced to reveal secrets under interrogation? And if they can we protect our own officers from being broken? That's reasonable in its own twisted, bizarre way. So the methods that they were using was early testing of sodium pentothal, which they considered the truth serum, hypnosis, and behavioral conditioning on foreign intelligence targets and suspected double agents. Now, that went on for 1 year. So in 1951, when Bluebird was phased out, Artichoke began. Again, Artichoke dropped the defensive pretense altogether. The core question changed from being a defensive situation to, can we get mind control of an individual to the point where he will do our bidding against his will and even against fundamental laws of nature, such as self-preservation? Y'all think about that for a minute, because that's completely different from what this whole thing started off with. The Manchurian Candidate objective. They explicitly researched creating hypnotized or drug-conditioned assassins who could commit an act and have zero memory of doing it afterward. Overseas black sites. Artichoke used secret interrogation centers in West Germany, Japan, and the Panama Canal Zone, where expendable foreign agents and prisoners were subjected to lethal interrogations using dangerous drug combinations, extreme temperature exposure, and electroshock. I mean, this just goes against everything that I see America being. You know what I mean? This is not who we're supposed to be. I understand that there are rules of war. I get that. I do. War is not good. War is not nice. And you can't be nice during war. But damn, guys, this is like, the lemming jump over the cliff right here. It's like, oh, that's really. So in April of 1953, CIA Director Alan Dulles formally expanded Artichoke into Project MK Ultra, handing total control over to Sidney Gottlieb. So actually, it hasn't been going from 53 to 73. It's been going since 51 to 73. So it's well over 20 years. So now let's go into the second part of it. This is a story of biological warfare, secret dosing, and a death that was covered up for over 40 years. So in November 19th of 1953, secret dosing was done in Deep Creek Lake, Maryland, to November 28th of 1953, 10th floor fall from the Statler Hotel in New York City. Now let's discuss that right there. And this is the mystery of Frank Olson. Who was Frank Olson? He was an Army biological warfare scientist working at Fort Detrick, Maryland. He specialized in aerosolized biological agents, anthrax, botulism, fun stuff, and worked closely with the CIA's Special Operations Division. So in the secret dosing, which started November 19th of 1953. It was at a retreat in Deep Creek Lake, Maryland. Sidney Gottlieb secretively spiked Olson's glass of Cointreau with a high dose of LSD. Olson was informed 20 minutes later that he had been dosed. He instantly grew panicked and experienced severe psychological crisis. I bet. Upon returning home, Olson became deeply disturbed, questioning his career in biowarfare and expressing a desire to resign from Fort Detrick. Heck yeah, I don't blame the guy. Oh, my word. Now let's move ahead a few days to November 28th of 1953. So, we're just talking like a week. It's like a week. The CIA sent Olson to New York City under the guise of seeing a CIA-approved psychiatrist. His name was Dr. Harold Abramson. At 2:30 in the morning on November 28th, Olson went through the 10th floor window of room 1018 at the Statler Hotel, falling to his death on the sidewalk below. Eesh. Yeah, we won't even go into that. So, the unraveling and the forensic twist on this is in 1975, the Rockefeller Commission documents revealed for the first time that Olson had been covertly dosed with LSD days before his death. President Gerald Ford officially apologized to the Olson family in the Oval Office, paying a $750,000 settlement. Yeah, I'm sure that helped. In 1994, Olson's son, Eric Olson, had his father's body exhumed. Renowned forensic pathologist Dr. James Starrs conducted a fresh autopsy, and this is what he found. To the skull before the fall, suggesting he was knocked unconscious. No glass cuts on his body, which would be expected if he had crashed through a closed window on his own. So this is one of those 1, 2, 3 out the window, which was open. He fell, window crashed down upon him. He didn't have a cut. I mean, come on, the man was killed, Murder theory. Forensic evidence led many investigators, including former CIA personnel, to suspect Olson was assassinated because he knew too much CIA bioweapon trial and was considered a security risk after threatening to it. You think? I mean, I guess that's just part of everyday life around here. This seems like these days. But this is just really how dirty that this whole thing gets. They're willing to kill their own people in a heartbeat just to cover something like this up. And this was heavy duty stuff now. Project Bluebird is where the CIA's formal quest for behavioral control actually began. Before it moved into Project Artichoke and blossomed into MK Ultra, Bluebird laid the institutional blueprint for covert human experimentation. Now I'm going to read you this, and this is interesting. Okay, this is the memorandum that was put out. Memorandum from the Inspector General. This is for him. Subject: use of LSD. Let's just get right down to the point of it. Pursuant to your request, Dr. Willis Gibbons, Chief TSS, was contacted on the evening of 30th of November, 1953, concerning points hereinafter noted. Dr. Gibbons has impounded all LSD material in CIA headquarters in a safe adjacent in his office to his in a safe adjacent to his desk. No one else has commented to the safe. The material was so impounded on 29th of November 1953. Dr. Gibbons stated that he is stopping any LSD tests which may have been instituted or contemplated under CIA. I can't make that word out. It looks like auspices. A cable will be sent to the field on the 1st of December 1953 to this effect. So, and that was the memorandum on chemical testing. So at this point, they're like, no. This is out of control. This can't be happening. So here's a quick breakdown is creation and mandate was April of 1950. The launch, officially authorized by CSI Director Roscoe H. Hillenkoetter on April of 1950. The key architect was led by Morse Allen, head of CIA's Office of Security, who had been studying interrogation techniques and polygraph responses. The fear factor was sparked by a high-profile communist trials in Eastern Europe, such as Cardinal Joseph Mindszenty in Hungary, where defendants made bizarre automated confessions. The CIA had become convinced that Soviets had cracked personality control. So the strategy here was that they created validation teams. Rather than isolated laboratory tests, W.E.B.B created deployable security validation teams. It's a standard team consisted of 3 specialists: a psychiatrist, medical doctor, a polygraph technician, who's a hypnotist, and a support technician. These teams operated under polygraph cover to test defectors, suspected double agents, and intelligent recruits in field experiments. So, while MK Ultra is famous for LSD, W.E.B.B focused heavily on cocktail combinations and hypnotic, conditioning. So, what they would do is that they would create like a uppers and downer like sandwich concoction. I have the hiccups. I got myself all upset over this. Combining sodium amytal, which is a depressant, with benzodrine, which is a stimulant. Interrogators induced a twilight sleep state using depressants, injected the stimulants to make the subject talkative, and then attempted to induce post-hypnotic amnesia. Jesus. Induced amnesia. Testing whether drugs like morphine, mescaline, and early LSD could completely wipe the subject's memory of an interrogation. And then hypnotic testing is made to perform acts against their moral code or reveal deeply guarded secrets. So, now we're going to go into the black sites. You guys just got to make out of this as what you can make out of it. This is just the facts that I'm giving to you. Because of this is a secret overseas black sites that we're going to talk about. Because of U.S. legal concerns, Bluebird established off-grid secret interrogation facilities outside U.S. jurisdiction, happened in West Germany and Japan. Facilities were expendable subjects as prisoners. They were interrogated, no oversight. They just tortured these people however they wanted to, how long they wanted to. It didn't matter. Collateral damage. I mean, oh, the humanity. Then there was the Nazi connections. The CIA recruited former Nazi scientists and military doctors, such as Walter Schreiber, who is the Surgeon General of the Nazi Army, to consult on drug efficiency, I can never say efficiency, and interrogation torture methods pioneered in concentration camps. So, what our government did is they took the Nazis' way of doing things, which everybody was just up in arms about. I mean, these people are cruel, they're animalistic, they're just terrible people. Hey, we're going to them. Let's do it ourselves. They got these people and used their same techniques. Their same techniques. This country's government did the same thing that the Nazi government did. The same thing. By the same people. If that don't make you choke, I don't know what would. I mean, I'm disgusted by it. I'm just like, I didn't know about this, and you guys need to know too. So, when you hear about all the good things, this just ended in 1973. So it's not like it was eons ago. It wasn't. Transition to Project Artichoke in 1951. So as I said before, August 20th, 1951, Bluebird was renamed Project Artichoke. And the shift of the philosophy basically is that it ostensibly created as a defense. Artichoke shifted the goal to offense, and specifically asking if an individual could be programmed to carry out involuntary assassinations or acts. So we are no longer looking at, hey, we're trying to defend our troops. We're trying to make sure that, they don't get effective. No. That's in the past. Now we're talking, we're going to take our own people and we're going to turn them into these, killers, these torturing killers. And then after they've done all this, they won't remember things altogether. So, Artichoke is the aggressive, dark middle child of CIA's mind control operations. If Bluebird was about defensive interrogation and MK Ultra was the massive, sprawling network of scientific sub-projects, Artichoke was pure, targeted, operational. There's another memo here. It's interesting. I'll read this one to you. No, it's the same one. It's the same one. I got all kinds of information on this. And I'm not even giving you all of it. I mean, because you just don't, it's not even going to have the time. So, this is just a basic over. And you guys can look into all of this on yourself as well. This is something that we really have to remember for in the future. And that is that the American people need to get better control, seriously, of what our own government is doing. I don't want to hear this garbage about it's your government. They're taking care. They've got the no, they don't. They don't have anything handled. If they're pulling cards like this, they don't have everything handled. And I think 99.9% of us have already come to that conclusion anyway. But when our own government is using techniques that are as barbaric as they were doing in the Nazi regime over here, using the same people. The same people. It's like, I understand that today it's a different, whole set of different characters in there. I get it. I do. I get it. But if it happened once, what is to stop it from happening again to anybody? They were going after our college students. Obviously, they're going to do it to anybody. So people, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open. You know, there's some good people in the government. There are very good people in the government. And, you know, good Lord, they'd be the last one that would allow something like this to occur. But you know what? Maybe they're not in a position where they can prevent something like that from occurring. A lot of this is covert. A lot of this happened under the tables and away from prying eyes. And it was led by particular people who headed the whole thing off. And it ran for 20 years before they finally said, yeah, all right, yeah, it's true. That did occur. So this is what I say. If you're looking at something that's spooky, that's scary, people, look at this. Look at this right here. This is what's spooky. This is what is scary. And I think we had a lot more trust in the government back then. I don't know why, because look what all it got us into. But back then, it was a simpler time, and it was a more trusting time. And as a result, I think that a lot more was able to have kind of gotten out of control than today. Today, it's very, I mean, people are like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Even people off the streets, they're like, no, we're not going to put up with that crap. Yeah, and they get involved. And it can be very, very difficult for the government keeping a stronger hand on what's going on. But I'm not saying go out there and go nuts. No. What I'm saying is, for the safety of your family, and this should be said at any time, keep your eyes open and keep your ears open. If you hear something, if you see something, control, protect your family, protect those that are near to you, protect your community, help to protect those all around you. If everybody followed that simple rule, keep your eyes and ears open into your area, your community, we'd all be a lot safer. Stop fighting with each other. Stop getting into these stupid freaking arguments over things that are just so archaic and outdated. It's just people like this here, this right here, are expecting you guys out there to get into these rifts, and you leave this big gaping hole for them to come walking right in and say, okay, we'll take over from here. You guys obviously are incapable, so we'll just take over from here, and you're screwed. We're all screwed at that point. So stop arguing over the small, insignificant crap that you're out there arguing about. Hold your families close. Be a close family. Know what's going on. Know your community. Know what's going on in your surroundings. If everybody did this, stuff like this could not occur. Just saying. I'm just saying, okay? Hey, I'm 68 years old. I'm 68 years old. And I'm not saying I've seen everything I never saw anything like this. And this was going on during, my growing up. I guess maybe I wouldn't have really paid attention to it, but I was getting up there to a point where I definitely should have been paying more attention to current events. Let's just put it that way. So back to this. So let's just go ahead and do a quick reference here. So these are the basic timeline. Project Bluebird, 1950, 1951. Defensive, protects U.S. agents, counter foreign brainwashing. Primary goal was prevent forced confessions, validate intelligence defectors. I get all this. I really do. I can see where they had every right to be concerned about this. Hypnosis, polygraph, sodium amytal, and benzodrine cocktails. I'm not so sure about those. Secret overseas sites, Germany, Japan, field validation teams. Key figures, Roscoe Hellencoetter, CIA director, and Morse Allen. Then you're looking at Project Artichoke, 1951 through 1953. It's now offensive. It's not defensive, it's offensive now. Weaponized mind control and to control individuals. It's getting real dark here. It's real dark. And create the involuntary assassins, Manchurian candidate, and programmed couriers. Violent drug cycles, paralytics, stimulants, LSD, harsh physical conditioning. And black sites overseas, examples, Camp King on expendable foreign captives. And of course, the ones in charge, Alan Dulles and Walter Bedell Smith. And now we move on to Project Ultra, which was 1953, 1973. Massive expansion, systemic, institutional, scientific research, find true serums, wipe memories, achieve complete psychological manipulation, massive LSD doses, electroshock, sensory deprivation, psychic driving, 80 plus domestic institutions, US and Canadian universities, hospitals, prisons, safe houses. And the ones in charge was Sidney Gottlieb, Alan Dulles, and Dr. Ewan Cameron. So it actually went from something that was actually understandable, and it went darker. Now we're not defend. Now, no, we're going to go out there on our own now. They got a taste of it. To the Project Ultra, they're out of control. They are just totally out of control at this point. So that's basically it in a nutshell. I mean, I would love to hear some views on this. Obviously, as far as we know, this is no longer into effect. If they're doing anything like it, I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is that, there's COVID. Oh my God. That's a new one coming up. Where it's never really ever been described as exactly where everybody's pointing a finger. Fauci's right in the middle of the whole thing. I don't know who's right and who's wrong. I really don't. I know I've caught it like 4 times already. I actually have what they call long-term COVID because I had it one time so bad that I honestly didn't, I didn't think I was going to pull through it. But it can get pretty bad. But so they're still trying to come up. Sometimes you kind of get to the point, it's like, I don't really care who it's important, but it's not important who really pulled the plug on this thing. But I do know that we need to get past it. And it seems like it's just here. It's here to stay. This is going to be something that we're going to have to deal with from here till whenever. I know I'll probably always have it around in my time. We'll probably still be dealing with it. And hopefully, as time goes on, it will lessen. You know, people die from the flu all the time. You know, something that's so minor to some, it depends on how the body reacts to it. Different people are different. So, you know, it's you can't really point a finger at it for anything other than the fact that it's going to do different things to different people. Some people get nothing more than like a sniffle, and that's it. Some people don't. So, but like I said, the scary part is though is that this is our country, this is our government, and they pulled some whoppers in their time, and this was a long time ago, so to speak. But if they pulled it then, they can pull it again, and maybe they have. I don't know. This is the information that I got from this particular time period. Um, you know, we just hope and pray that something else doesn't come up. And something else is always going to come up. We know that. We know that. But I mean, the big monster in the dark is when, you know, and what's going to end up coming on. Now, I'm not saying to walk around, you know, afraid to even walk out of your house, but crap with that. You know, you live life and live it good. You know, have fun, enjoy your family. Just keep your eyes and ears open, and just if something doesn't seem right, you want to pay extra attention to it because when you get those little feelings inside, it means something. And we're all born with it. It's part of instinct. Actually, it's an instinctive um, protection measure for all of us that we have. It's like birds knowing when winter's coming or when it's getting ready to rain. They know. It's instinctual. They know. It's the same thing with us. If something isn't right, instinctually, you're going to know. And even if it seems like it's all okay, but it just something doesn't seem right, guys. There's all kinds of different names it goes by. You know, it's instinct. It's your fifth sense kicking in. Well, I call them my peeps. And I know I've got my peeps. And I gotta say, they are never wrong. Never wrong. And a lot of times when they tell me something and I'm like, ah, I don't pay any attention to it. I regret it because it's like, oh, why didn't I just listen to them? And stupid me, I didn't. And, and then they're just kind of sitting there, it's like, we told you. And they're right, they did. But I chose to ignore it. Whose fault is that? So just pay attention to that little voice inside it. It's there for a reason, guys. And for those of you that are saying, no, I don't have, yes, you do. You do. We all have it. Just pay attention to it. I've had a lot of people ask me, how do how do you do that? How do you, the same way you would do it. It's just that I've had it all my life and I worked with it since I've been a kid. And as a result, many, 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 many years of building it up and paying attention and listening and, going by what is said to me, by what I see, by what I hear, by what it's all combined. It's that fifth eye kind of thing. It's all combined. You can do it too. Anybody can do what I can do, or what she can do, or what he can do. Well, it's just tune into it. And that's the best thing that I can say to you guys tonight is learn yourselves. You're not too old. You're never too old. You can be in your 80s. I don't care. And you could still get something out of that. It's never too late. Please believe me when I say that. So we're going to be signing off now for the night. And I'm so glad I was able to come back on the show and get this started back up. I really miss doing the show. Um, I'm trying to find my book. My trailer here. This is my happy zone. See it? Look what a mess it is. I had to completely tear it apart for the con because I had to use the tables and everything that were in here. And I'm looking for my book. But in any case, I'll go ahead and I'll put a notice out onto what's going to be going on our next show because I've got it all on the schedule, and I'll be able to tell you guys what's coming up next. But it's going to be next Thursday night, 7 o'clock, and see what kind of fun stuff I can come up with on that night. But until then, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. But before you go, I wanted to tell you guys about we do have another event coming up, and this is me, Stan, and Teresa Fikes' little project that we have, and it's called the Medieval Faith Fest, and it's going to be in Marianna, Florida. And I wanted to tell you guys all about it. This is going to be our second year, and last year we had so much fun. Oh my goodness, we had so much fun. And it's going to be it's going to be more fun this year because we've got a lot more people. And we got a lot of different things that are going on this year. And I'm just so excited about it. This is like our baby, right here. Going, Stan and Teresa's is the Deep South Paracomic-Con, and the Medieval Faith Fest. It's my baby too on the Medieval Faith Fest. So I'm just so excited, and having Stan and Teresa, and working with them is just, oh my gosh, they're just amazing. And when Teresa does something that she just don't hold back. I mean, this girl is like amazing. She goes into it and she's like, if I'm going to do something, my God, I'm going to do it right. And she does. So her efforts and whatever she does is just nothing less than spectacular on anything that she does. So just giving you guys a heads up. You guys, the the Faith Fest, the Medieval Faith Fest. Stan, if you're out there, the Faith Fest is what, the 8th, 9th, and 10th? Wait a minute, I got a calendar here somewhere. Oh, hang on. I can tell you guys when it's going to be. And you can get on Facebook or on the internet, and here we go. I was wrong. It's the Medieval Faith Fest on the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th. And that's going to be a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday. So it's 3 days. We're going to have 3 days of fun out there, you guys. And when it starts getting closer to the time, we're going to start letting you know who all is going to be there as far as the vendors and the participants and the entertainers that we're going to have out there. We've already got quite a few going on. And Stan and Teresa have just, I mean, they got this down, man. They work so hard in everything that they do. And this Medieval Faith Fest is no different for them than the efforts that they put into the Deep South Paracomic-Con. So you know how well that they do that. So can you only imagine them putting that effort into the Medieval Faith Fest? And it's just an altogether different subject, but oh my gosh, they They just go all out for it. It's going to be at the Jackson County Ag Center, and that is on 90. So it goes right through, and 90 goes right through Mariana, and it goes keeps on going. It goes right across. Hell, 90 goes all the way out to Pensacola. It goes from Tallahassee all the way out to Pensacola. So if you're on 90, you'll go right by it. So the easiest way to get there would either be to get off on the Cottondale exit and then make a right on 90, take your ride out there. Or you can get off on the Mariana exit, and you would head north, get off and head north. And when you get to 90, make a left. Take your ride out to it. It's very easy to find, I promise. So everybody, I'm going to be signing off for the night. And the closer we get to the time for the Medieval Faith Fest, we'll let you know more and more and more about it. So that's medievalfaithfest.com. November 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Jackson County Ag Center in Mariana, Florida. And we'll be excited to see you there. All right, everybody, I'm signing off for now. We'll see you next Thursday at 7 o'clock. And we're going to have a good subject lined up for you. Bye-bye, you guys. You take care.
Good night from Spooky Things with Debbie!